So the next thing we need to do for his head is to attach the bottom of his black helmet to the bottom of his pink part of his head. So I've threaded the tail of my black yarn onto my embroidery needle, and I'm going to just do a few stitches across to secure it to his head. Then when I feel that it is secured down enough, I'm going to use the tail to sew on Batman's mouth. And you're going to sew the mouth onto the pink part of his face. So I'm going to give my Batman a little bit of a side smile. There we go, and then when you're happy, you can cut your yarn. Now that his head's finished, we can finally attach it to his body. So I've threaded the pink tail yarn onto my embroidery needle, and now I'm going to sew it to the top of his body. So to do this, I'm going to take one of the stitches from the top cast off edge, if you like, of his body, and then one of the stitches from the top of the bottom of his head. I'm going to do this all the way around. In the first round I normally just do a few loose stitches to make sure the head is attached, and then I go around the second time, and that's where I take more time to check that the placement of my stitches are hidden and that the head is secured firmly. And once I've finished, I'm going to thread my needle throughout his body as normal to lose the yarn tail, and then I can snip. And Batman's head is attached. Now it's time to make his ears. So with our black DK yarn, slip knot onto our hook and chain 2. So that's 1 and 2. And into the second chain from hook, I'm going to do 5 single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And for our next round, we're going to single crochet around again into all them 5 single crochets. So we're going to do another round of 5 single crochet. And once you have finished your second round, you're going to slip stitch and fasten off. And there's your first ear. So now you need to go and do that all again to make a second ear. Once you have your 2 ears made, it's time to attach them to Batman's head. So threading the end tail of one of the ears onto my embroidery needle, I'm going to position the first ear where I want it and begin to sew. So you can attach the ears with any method or any sewing technique that you want, just as long as they're nice and secured. And when you're finished with the first ear, don't forget to attach the second. Now it's time for his arms, so with our black yarn, slip knot onto our hook, and we're going to chain 2. So that's 1 and 2, and into the second chain from hook, I'm going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. For our next row, we're going to increase to 9 stitches, so I'm going to single crochet 1 and then do 2 single crochet in the following stitch 3 times. So single crochet 1 and increase in the next stitch for 2 and 3. Single crochet 4 and increase in the next stitch for 5 and 6. Single crochet 7 and increase in the next stitch for 8 and 9. So we now have 9 stitches and we're going to single crochet around them for 10 rows. So single crochet 9 stitches 10 times, and I'll meet you back when I'm done. After our 10th row of black, we're going to fasten off. I'm going to do a colour change to grey yarn. So using the standing start method, I'm going to slip knot onto my hook and begin attaching my grey yarn. And this will count as our first single crochet. And now I'm going to single crochet into each of the stitches around so that we'll have 9 single crochets of grey. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And now we're going to do 10 rows, well, we've already done one, so we're going to do 9 more rows of single crochet around in grey. I'm just finishing my last couple of stitches in grey, and to end I'm going to do a slip stitch, and I can fasten off leaving a long tail so I can use this to attach it to Batman's body. And now it's time to stuff the arms. Make sure you stuff it nice and tight, and when you're finished, go and make a second arm. So do this all over again. Once your 2 arms are ready and made, it's time to attach them onto Batman's body. So threading one of the tails onto my embroidery needle, I'm going to close the top of his arm. I'm going to just do this in a straight line. So just a couple of stitches to make sure there's no hole at the top of his arm. Now I want to check where the colour change was, because I want that to be positioned towards the body. I don't want that to be visible from outside. So I'm going to find out where I want the arm, and then I can begin to sew. You can use any sewing method that you like. I like to do a couple of stitches along the top, lift the arm and do a couple of stitches along the bottom, and then sometimes I'll do a couple of stitches throughout the body. But just sew until the arm is nice and securely fastened to Batman, and then repeat again with the second arm on the opposite side. For Batman's cape, I'm going to be using my 4.5mm hook and my black DK yarn, and I'm going to begin with a slip knot onto hook, and I'm going to chain 17. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. Then into the second chain from hook, I'm going to do a single crochet, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in all the other chains across, so we'll end up with 16 single crochets. Just finishing my last of my single crochets. Now our next row is going to be double crocheted, so I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. Now the pattern for this will be, the pattern repeat even will be to do 1 double crochet into the first stitch and 2 double crochet into the following stitch. And we are going to repeat that all the way along, so at the end of this row you'll have 24 double crochet stitches. Now for our next row, I'm going to chain 3 again, and we're going to do the pattern repeat of 1 double crochet in one stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 double crochet into the following stitch. We're going to repeat that pattern all the way across for the second row. So 1 double crochet into one stitch, another double crochet into the following stitch, and 2 double crochet into the following stitch after that. And at the end of this row we'll have 32 stitches. And at the end of this row we're going to chain 3 and or try to chain 3. Trying really hard to chain 3, turn our way, and we're just going to do double crochet all the way across. And we're going to do that 10 times now, so we're going to double crochet all the way across our way, chain 3, turn and double crochet all the way back until you have done that 10 times. After your 10th row of double crochet across, you then want to single crochet around the entire perimeter of the cape, doing 3 single crochets in the corners to help you turn. I pressed record a little bit late here, so I missed the very beginning, but we're just single crocheting all the way around to make the edges of the cape look extra neat. And now it's time to attach his cape. So threading one of my long yarn tails onto my embroidery needle, I'm going to bring Batman in, position the cape exactly where I want it, and sew around to complete our design. And the last thing we need to do is thread all these ends and cut them. And our Batman is complete. And there you have our finished Batman. So we now have 2 of our Justice League characters done with Batman and Superman, and we will be doing another one in a week or so. So if you like this tutorial, please like, comment and subscribe, it means so much to me. And if you make any of these little guys, don't forget to tag me on Instagram and hashtag Teenie Crochets. And other than that, have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.